Oh, bueno.
Sí, hola,
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días.
buenos días.
Vamos a dar inicio al webinar de Zebrix. Les voy a presentar la presentación. Vamos a hacer eh, un- un- una introducción para todos aquellos ustedes que no apenas están empezando con el tema de señalización digital. Vamos a dar una presentación de quién es Zebrix, más o menos cómo funciona su plataforma y después vamos a hablar de algunos casos de éxitos y bueno, cualquier pregunta que tengan, por favor, escríbanos. Y les voy a presentar, la presentación se va a hacer de dos formas. Primero va a estar con nosotros Raynald LECONTE, que es el director de Latinoamérica para Zebrix, y después nos va a apoyar Pierre, TIANGE, que es el CTO de Zebrix para Europa. Entonces, Raynald, buenos días, te cedo la palabra.
Ok, gracias. Mi español es bastante básico, discúlpame para la introducción, pero me voy a hablar un poquito en inglés y me voy a una introducción más alta de Zebrix y después de 10 minutos vamos a transferir todo eso. Yo creo que es importante de ver el producto y mi compadre Pierre, que es el CTO de toda la compañía de Zebrix, va a demostrar en la demostración de la plataforma HTML5 Zebrix, ¿ok? Primera vez, Zebrix es una aplicación muy simple, ¿ok? En el mundo ahora, con plataformas con pantallas, hay un mundo que tienen players o nukes, o hay un otro mundo que como trabajamos con Samsung, estamos casados con Samsung porque tienen una plataforma muy importante porque no necesita un player y con Zebrix y Samsung SSSP Tizen podemos utilizar todo de Digital Signage sin player. Solamente necesita una conexión internet, ¿ok? Y importante de saber que la plataforma, que el sistema de Tizen es un sistema que utilizan en los teléfonos que ahora estaban en pantallas de Samsung. Smart Displays se llama, ¿ok? ¿Y qué es Zebrix? Zebrix es una plataforma HTML5, no necesita ninguna software para la instalación, no Adobe Flash, no Browser Plugin, solamente utiliza la pantalla, tú compras la pantalla, el setup de la pantalla con Zebrix que es HTML5 y rápidamente Zebrix está listo para una pantalla o 20,000 pantallas o 40,000 pantallas, ¿ok? Y la activación es una solamente para cada pantalla. Tú utilizas un web browser, ¿ok? Para utilizar y manejar todos los elementos básicos y sofisticados de la plataforma. Hay una zona multipage para un editor que puede crear escenarios, páginas, vídeos, contenidos, crear playlists, crear target, crear scheduling. Mira, en caso de Zebrix, tú era el advantage. How do you say advantage, Derico? Advantage. El advantage de Zebrix es una plataforma que puede utilizar con 5 o 1,000 o 10,000. No hay nombres para eso, ¿ok? Después de Zebrix. Somos una compañía que empezó en Francia hace 30 años, pero hacía 12 años utilizamos Zebrix, creando Zebrix en la compañía de Manganelli Group. Y Pierre es el creador del producto que vas a demostrar a ustedes. Tenemos más de 20,000 pantallas en el mundo ahora y estamos en México, Brasil, en Sudamérica. Estamos trabajando también con otros países. Y trabajamos con integradores y mayoristas, solamente en Sudamérica. Y si necesita comprar una licencia de Zebrix, habla con mi amigo Federico en NOVOTECH y él puede comprar la pantalla y la aplicación Zebrix en la pantalla. ¿Okay? El sistema se llama System on Chip porque, como se dice, la plataforma es de Samsung. Pero también en Zebrix tenemos también un player. Si tú no tienes una pantalla Samsung, Zebrix tiene un player, un NUC, que es un Intel solución de Linux, y tú puedes utilizar un Zebrix NUC para pantallas que no están de Samsung, ¿ok? So, hay dos beneficios de Zebrix. Hay Zebrix System on Chip que puede utilizar sin player, pero si tú tienes aplicaciones o clientes que no tienen pantallas Samsung y quieren utilizar no Samsung, podemos también utilizar el NUC de Zebrix, el Intel NUC de Zebrix, que ustedes pueden comprar también de nuestro amigo de NOVOTECH. ¿Ok? Zebrix hace video walls. Vamos a hablar de eso después. Estamos en muchos países que ven eso, 40 países ahora. Tenemos un data center en América porque Zebrix es una solución nube, cloud solution. So, todo el contenido es un servicio de cloud. La diferencia es que cuando compras Zebrix, tú compras también la solución cloud, porque todo vas a hacer en el nube y después el management de la plataforma utiliza la cloud solution. So, es una cosa muy importante para clientes que no tiene, ¿cómo se dice? A integrar un cloud para el cliente porque Zebrix es incluido en este servicio, ¿ok? Tenemos muchos avantajes con Magic Info porque Zebrix no solamente es, porque la importancia de Zebrix con Magic Info, estamos en el cloud service también. So, si tú compras Zebrix, tú tienes un cloud también, ¿ok? Without competitive advantages, yo hablo también de Zebrix un poquito más. Aquí están los clientes, puedo hablar más de los clientes después, pero yo prefiero ahora que vamos a demostrar con mi amigo Pierre la solución y después me voy a hablar un poquito más de los clientes, de qué hacemos en el mundo y cómo usted trabaja con nosotros utilizando Zebrix. Pero antes de empezar la demostración de Pierre, hay dos cosas importantes a hacer de Zebrix. Es una plataforma muy simple, HTML5. Puedes manejar una pantalla, 1000 pantallas, 4000 pantallas en la misma pantalla, en la misma aplicación. ¿Ok? Federico, can you switch to Pierre now?
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. I will start sharing my screen. Raynald, if you can confirm me that you see my display.
I see your display, yes.
Okay, so we will start the demo.
¿Tiene alguien algún problema con el inglés? Díganos para poder ayudarles ahí con la traducción, por favor.
Okay.
Okay, so what you are seeing right now is the login page of Zebrix. So the idea is that you can just use your web browser to access to the Zebrix platform. It's a secured interface where you will be entering your company name, your username, and then your password. And then when you are logged in, you will arrive first on the dashboard. On this dashboard, you will have a kind of macroscopic view of the status of your digital signage network. On this graph, you can see how many screens you have in your network and how many of them are currently broadcasting and how many of them are currently offline. Of course, this is a demo account, which explains why I have so many screens offline in that situation. I can go in the next sections where I can have the detail of all the screens I have in my network. If I click on that section, I have the list of my screens. And as you can see, the first screen of the list is connected. And this blue icon means that the screen is currently broadcasting a content. if I would like to know which content is currently playing, I can just refer to the content column, where I have the name of the content and also a preview of the content. If I move the mouse over the name of the content, I have a little thumbnail that shows me the content. And if I click on it, I have a bigger view, a bigger preview of the content that is currently displayed on this display. But of course, it's not a 100% sure proof of play. And that's the reason why we also have a screenshots feature. If I click on the photo camera there, I can have a feedback from the display that will show me a screenshot that has been taken remotely on the display. As Raynald has explained, we are compatible with different types of screens. Either you can have a screen from Samsung that embed a system on chip, which is a little chipset. In this situation, you will have a high performance and very reliable display without requiring to have an external player. But of course, if you have a screen from another brand, you can use a Zebrix external player that runs on Linux, which is very secured and very reliable, and you can use whatever screen manufacturer you want. Thanks to the Samsung integration in Zebrix, we can also retrieve some information from the display, like, for example, which firmware version the screen is currently using, or what is the temperature or the uptime of this display. I can also have some network settings that I can see remotely. And in this situation, I can confirm that everything is normal on the display and the screen is running properly. So how can I send the content to the display now? I can just select the display in the list, and I can use the Set Content button right there. And if I click on this button, it will open my content library. And I have basically 4 types of content. I can send either images or videos or pages or playlists. So an images, I think it's very easy to understand. It's just an image you have uploaded. And when you press OK, you will see that the content name in the content column will change to page Zebrix wallpaper instead of the Singapore landscape I had before. So if I do a screenshot now, I will have the confirmation that the screen has changed from the Singapore wallpaper to the Zebrix wallpaper. I can do the same with a video. The only difference is that it will be a little bit longer because the video is, of course, a file which is bigger. So as you can see, there is a rolling wheel for a few seconds that has been displayed to inform that a transfer is done. And if I do a screenshot now, I can have the confirmation that the Calvin Klein video is showing. And thanks to the refresh button, I can even refresh the screenshot. Okay, so it's basically the way you will use to send the content to a display. And in this example, I've selected only one display, but I can also, of course, select huge numbers of display and send the content in real time to all these devices at the same times. You've also maybe noticed this column with different colors in it. These columns are tags. Tags are useful when you have or when your customers will have large number of displays, maybe a few hundreds or a few thousand display in the list, or even a dozen of display. You will have to understand which display is doing what and where each screen is located. So this is the ability to paste some information on the display, like what is the location of this display. This one is in Paris, in France. This one is in Montreal or New York, etc. I can also have a location inside the building, like the entrance or the cash desk of the showroom. And I can also specify which language the screen is speaking. But of course, all these criteria is just an example. Okay, each customer can customize the tags the way he wants. This is only an example I've chosen to configure here in this tag category. cities, location, and languages, but you can create as many tags families as you want, and you can organize your network of screens the way you want. So what tags are used to? The usage of tag the first usage of tag is to filter the list of screen. If I have a long list of screen and I quickly want to see which screen is located in Mexico, I can use my filters bar there, select the Mexico tags, and you will see that the list will be filtered. And I can even select multiple criteria, like I would like a screen that speaks maybe English, and then you will have two criteria here, Mexico and English, and you will have only one screen that fulfill this selection. So this is the first use of tags. The other usage of tags will be to filter which content can be sent to a display or not. For example, the Calvin Klein video I've sent to the display has no tags. It means that this video can be sent to any display. But let's imagine that this video is in English and have the English tags. Like, for example, I will go back to my media list, which is the second section I will show you. And let's have a look to find a Calvin Klein video. And let's say that this video is limited for English screens. So I will paste the English tag on it. And if I go back to my screen list, let's change back to the Singapore or Zebrix wallpaper image, for example. Okay, and when I will click back to set content and go back to video, you will see that the Calvin Klein video is not there anymore because my screen is tagged French and my Calvin Klein video is tagged English. So it's very useful to have that feature, because when you have multiple screens, it is very useful to be sure that the wrong content will not be sent to the wrong screen. Okay, let's finish with the tag and go back to the media library. So the media library will be the library you will use to upload your media. So the easiest way to add new medias on Zebrix is to do a drag and drop from your desktop to the Zebrix interface. So let's go in my pictures, for example. I have a demo folder there, and then I will take a landscape picture, for example. Let's say these three ones. And then I will just drag and drop to the Zebrix interface. And as you will see, new images will be added on the top of the list, and I can preview the image on the interface. And I can directly send this image to my displays. Going back to the screens list, I select the image tag, I press OK, confirmation message, and then you will see that the content will be sent to the display, and a few seconds later the content is displayed correctly on the screen. So as you can see, it's very quick to send the content from your computer to a remote screen, even if it's located on the other side of the planet. It's very quick and easy to use. So this was a basic image or a basic video, but you can also make pages on Zebrix. So what is a pages? Let's start from this image I have just uploaded. And we can maybe imagine that we would like to add a text on this image. So the page editor will be useful to do that. I can use the add zone button there, and then I can move the zone wherever I want, and I can tell that I would like to add a text in that zone. I have different types of zone I can select. I can put a text, I can put an image or a video, or maybe a RSS feed, or maybe some other information. And let's type, for example, welcome in Zebrix. Like any page editor, I can modify the properties of the text, like the size, etc. I can move the text wherever I want on the page. And then I've just created a multi-zone page with only one zone in that case, but of course I can add as many zones as I want on the page very easily. It's even easier to use than a PowerPoint. So let's add an image zone, for example, with with the Zebrix logo in it. I can move the zone and I can resize it. I can rename the page like training page, and I can save it. And if I go back in my page list, I can see my page and I can preview it like this. And I can now send this page to my screen, like selecting the screen, selecting the page, and then press OK. And the page has been sent. I can do screenshots. And for example, let's modify the text there. I can go back to my page. I can just edit it. And I will add maybe welcome in this Zebrix demo. Okay, and I will resize the text like this. And maybe I will move the text there to change something on the page. We'll move the image there. I can press save. And I have nothing more to do to update the content on my displays. If I do a screenshot now, you will see that the page has been updated to the newer version. So it's very easy for you and for your customers to edit the content. They don't have to care about, do I have published my content to the screen? Do I have synchronized it? Or you have no FTP transfer or things like that. You just have to care about what you are modifying on the page editor, and everything will be synchronized to all the displays that are currently playing that content. One more thing about media. You should know that videos can have multiple type of formats or codecs, and to make it very easy to use in Zebrix, we have decided to transcode the video files automatically. It means that you can use any video format, and you don't have to care about the encoding. You just have to upload the file. We will check if the file is already in the correct codec, and if not, we will convert it to the MP4 codec we are using with the right bitrate, with the right chroma sampling settings, with everything that will be compliant with Samsung's displays and Zebrix players. So you don't have to care about the format. So if you have marketing directors in your customer or users that don't have technical skills, Zebrix is really the correct tool for you. When you have some media and when you have some pages, you can create playlists. Playlists are basically loops of content that will be shown on the display. So let's create a new playlist. Let's call it NOVOTECH. And in that playlist, I can put images, I can put videos or pages. It doesn't matter. So I can put my training pages, for example, the one I've just created just before. I can also put an images like this one. And I will also put this image. And as you can see, this image has also a New York tag there. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that if I send that playlist to all my displays, this page will only be shown on a screen that has the New York tags. And on all the other displays located in Mexico, in Paris, in Berlin, or any other locations, this page will be skipped. So this is very easy with Zebrix to filter the content you would like to show or not. So let's save that page. I can also select the duration, specify the duration of each items of the playlist, like let's say 5 seconds, 5 seconds, and 10 seconds for the last item. Then I can save my playlist. And if I go back to my display, I can set the content. And then I can use the 4 tabs here, which is the playlist one. And I can see the NOVOTECH playlist I've just created. I can also preview it by doing this. And then you can see the first page, the second page, which is an image, and the third item, which is a New York limited element. And then I can send that playlist. As you can see, all the items has been transferred to the display. You now have a playlist icon instead of an image or a page icon. And if I do a screenshot, I can see that the playlist is shown. If I refresh it, you will see that I went back to the first item of the playlist, and the third element has not been shown. And the reason of that is that because my screen is located in Paris and not in New York. But let's remove that Paris tag and let's change it to the New York one. If I do screenshot now, you will see that the first page is this one. The second one will be the mountain landscape. And then you will see the third items, which is the night landscape, because this one is New York and the screen is also New York. So it's working correctly. So as you noticed from the beginning of this demo, I'm always using the set content button, which is a great way for demos. It's easy for explanation to use the set content button. But of course, in the real life, you will more use the scheduling option. And for that, you will go to the scheduling section there. And I can create a schedule for my screen, which is called screen 9. I will rename it because it's in French currently. Let's call it screen number 9. And then I can go to my schedules and add a schedule for a screen. Let's take the screen number 9. And then I have a calendar there. And I can say, okay, what would I like to show? I would like to show the content. Which one? Maybe one of the months, for example, which is a video, I think. No, it's a page. Okay, I can say, okay, I would like from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., for example. And I can define also a recurrence. Is it something that will be displayed every day or only certain days of the week? Let's say I would like to display it from Monday to Friday, but not during the weekend. And this content has to be displayed until the end of the month or until the end of the next month. Okay, and then as you can see, the calendar has been updated, and the Saturday is empty because I've excluded from the selection. If I switch to the months view, I can see that it will be displayed until the end of the month of September, and in October there is nothing. So this is correct. I can go back to my screen. If I check what the screen is showing, it's not showing anything, and I have to switch it to the scheduling mode. So I will select my screen, I will select the scheduling mode, and from now you can see that the calendar sheet has been displayed there. That means that the screen is now in scheduling mode instead of set content, static set content. And if I have a look to the content column name, I can see that the content which is currently displayed, it's this video, one of the months. So if I click on the calendar sheet there, I can see that this screen is currently using a scheduling. And if I click on it, I can also have a kind of preview of the agenda of this screen. And now, if I go back to the schedule, and if I modify that schedule to another content, for example, let's say that I would like to display another content like my Calvin Klein video. And now I would like also to display the content during Saturdays. And then I press OK. The agenda has been updated. And if I go back to my screens list, you will see that it has been switched to the new content of the schedule. If I just screenshot, you will see that it's not the previous page anymore, but it's the new one. So as you can see in Zebrix, everything you do in the interface will be taken into account in real time. You don't have to care about syncing the content to the display or pushing updates to the display. This will be done automatically. Of course, in Zebrix, you also have a users managing system. I can create some users, and each users can have different permission. On the left part of the display, you have this menu with all the section of Zebrix. And thanks to the user managing system, you can define what a user can do. As you can see, there are three roles: administrator, user with limited rights, and also shop responsible. Shop responsible is a custom role I've created. If I go to the right description, you can find each section of Zebrix, and for each section you can define what the user can do. For example, for the screens list, you can say, okay, this shop responsible is allowed to access the screen section, but it's not allowed to edit the name, the properties of screens. And it's not also allowed to use the set content or the use schedule button, because you don't have to care about that. This will be defined by an administrator, but is allowed to reboot and reload the screen, for example. So it's just an example. You can define the rights for each section. Is the user allowed to upload new media? Is the user allowed to remove a media? So you will define what a user can do. And as soon you apply that role to a user, the interface will be limited. Some buttons will be hidden, and the user can only do what you have decided. What you can also do is that you can create a page like this one, and you can define that on this text zone, a user is allowed to modify the text, but you don't want that the user modify the background image or this image, for example. But you would like to allow the user to modify the content of that zone. In the properties, you can check this checkbox telling that limited editors are allowed to edit content of this zone. And if you click that zone, that option, you will see that this section is turned green. This one is still red and locked. This will mean that if a user go to this page, he will be allowed to edit that zone. So it's a kind of limited edition. Like, for example, you can have a menu board with all the products, and you can allow a user just to modify the prices of the products, for example, or to adjust a welcome message, like in this example. And in limited edition mode, it will not be possible for a user to move a zone like this. It will not be possible to modify the fonts, to modify the colors. So it's really a limited edition. It means that you can create a template for your customers, or the marketing department of your customer can create templates, but the limited users can just use the templates without any additional modifications. Thanks to the tag system, you can also make a content variable. For example, I can define that zone that will be variable depending of which tags the screen has. So let's switch that zone to a new mode, which is the variable content mode. So the text will be reset. And I can define that the text will vary depending of the languages. Languages, it's one of the families of tags I'm using. So I can choose cities or locations or languages. In my example, I will take languages. And for example, I can say that the value for the English will be welcome. But the value for the French maybe will be bienvenue. So if I save that page now, and if I go back to my page list and then to my page preview, I have a drop zone there, and I can select English, where I will see the value of that zone in English, and French, where I will see the value of that zone in French. And let's have a look how it works on the display. Let's change the schedule of that display to that page. I go back to my schedule section. I will edit that schedule and we'll switch it back to my page trading. As you can see, the content has been modified on the display, and if I do a screenshot, you will see that the display will show the bienvenue text because it's in French. Let's change the tag there and switch it to English. And then let's do a screenshot. And as you can see, as you will see, the text has been changed to welcome. So this is just a basic example of variable content depending on tags on Zebrix you can achieve. You can also have dynamic content, variable content in playlists based on the same way I've done with pages. And what you can also do is to create a user. Let's create a user together. I will take my user, let's call it NOVOTECH. Let's define a password for that user and an email. This user will be a shop responsible. But that user will be responsible only for Mexico screens. So I can also put a tag on the user. Let's open a section with that user. Open a session, sorry. I connect to the interface. NOVOTECH. Username. Sorry, it's and then password there. Okay, now I'm connected with the NOVOTECH user, and as you can see, I only have 2 screens in my list, and all the section there has been restricted because I'm a shop responsible. I'm not an administrator anymore. So this is an example of how you can simplify a huge network of screens into smaller networks and allow a limited access to another user. We also have some possibility of displaying some dynamic information on the display, like for example, the weather. For that, we have a widget platform where you can choose a widget, like for example, a weather widget, where you can define the language. You can also define the city, let's say Mexico. And then you can also customize a few things on the widget, like the colors of the text. And you have a preview there. I don't know if you are using Celsius or Fahrenheit degrees. So you can also have the choice there. And then you have a link you can just copy. And when you go back in Zebrix, you can take the page there. I will edit it. I will add a new zone. I will replace that zone. We'll have more space. I could create a new zone there. And as you already seen, it's possible to add text, to add images, videos, but it's also possible to add a web content. So I just have to paste the URL there, and you will see that I have the weather forecast there in Mexico. And if I go back to my screen, making a screenshot, you will see that the screen is now displaying the weather forecast for Mexico. So this is another thing you can integrate into your presentations. We have about 30 widgets you can add. We have weather forecast, we have traffic information, we have Google Calendar, Office 365 calendars, widgets, that Facebook widgets, that kind of stuff you can also add on your presentations. And if you have the needs, we can also have a data sources option that will allow to link information to an existing database, like a Microsoft SQL server or MySQL server, or just an Excel file or an DB file or CSV file that is located on your computer or on a remote server. You can install a tool that is called the Zebrix connector that will take the data from your database and will synchronize it to the Zebrix platform. And then you can, on the page, you can draw a zone. And on the zone, you can say that it's not a static content, but it's a dynamic content coming from a data source. And then you can select in the list which data source you would like to link the page to. And when you will modify a value on your computer database, it will be instantly synchronized with Zebrix and with the screen as well. Okay, so that was a basic tour of what you can do with Zebrix. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and maybe Federico will help me to translate from Spanish to English if it's needed. So thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. Gracias, Pierre. Federico, ¿quieres?
Thank you, Pierre. No sé si hasta ahorita tengan alguna duda de la plataforma. Como ven, realmente es una plataforma muy fácil de utilizar. Les permite hacer muchas funcionalidades de cómo administrar el contenido, ya sea fotografías, videos, cualquier feed de video en vivo, o URL o SSR feed o cualquier otra forma. Pueden hacer multiformatos en la pantalla o pueden hacer diferentes zonas dependiendo de lo que quieran. Entonces, lo más importante de la plataforma es, o de la solución que estamos ofreciendo con Zebrix, es que son varias las ventajas, ¿no? Uno es que obviamente no tienen un player externo, realmente, como lo dijo Raynald en un inicio, a través de la pantalla de Samsung, podemos, con el System on Chip que tiene Tizen, se carga la licencia y pueden ir adicionando el número de pantallas que necesiten, y la administración va a ser muy fácil remotamente. Si tuviera alguna pantalla existente o una pantalla de LED o de cualquier otra marca que no tuviera la plataforma de Tizen por el momento, se le puede agregar un player y con eso van a tener el control exactamente como lo vieron acá, ¿no?
¿Cómo se generan los tags?
Estamos teniendo una pregunta de cómo se generan los tags. Ahorita lo va a explicar Pierre. Pierre, can you, they are asking, how do you do the tags? Can you explain how the criteria that you can do, how you do a new tag, for example?
Yes, of course. So when you create a new Zebrix account for a new customer, you first go in the tag section, and with our help, we create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number of tags families you need. In this example, we've created for that example customer 3 tag families, and then you can easily add new tags for each families. Like, let's add a city like Brussels, for example. A new city has been added that way. And then if I go to any object in Zebrix, like a screen, for example, I can move this one from Paris to Brussels, and it will be done that way. So you can create as many tags you want. You can also put as many tags you want on each screen. Like, for example, this one speaks French, but it also speaks Spanish and English. It will, of course, not be located in 2 cities at the same time. So it's a nonsense to do that, but it's still possible to do in the system. You can add as many tags as you want on each object in Zebrix. Of course, for very basic usage, you don't even need to use tags. But as soon as you have 5, 6, 10 or more screens, it's better to create tags to make everything more clear and more restricted, you know, to avoid to send the wrong content to the wrong screen. Does it answer the question?
Yes, they also are asking how they can load the playlist.
Okay, so the first step to create a playlist is to have the content of the playlist you want. So first you need to upload your images or your videos, or you can create pages. So let's make a very basic playlist. I will just upload some medias. So let's take a few medias on my computer. I will take, let's take 3 images, for example. Let's take 3 cars, and then files will be uploaded there. Then I can go to my playlist section and create a new playlist. Let's call it test. This is the playlist editor, and then I can select image number 1, image number 2, and 3. And this is the way I've done a playlist. And now, how can I display it on a display or multiple displays? I can go in my screen section, and there are two ways. The first way is to select the display, use the Set Content button, and then select in my playlist tabs there, the playlist I would like to load on the display. And now the screen is displaying my cars slideshow. And the other way to do it is to switch the screen to schedule mode and then to edit the schedule of the concerned display, which is the screen number 9. And then I can switch the content to the playlist test I've just created. And then the content will be modified to test, the schedule will be modified to test. And then I can see that it's showing my cars there. We'll refresh the screenshot. It's there. Does it answer the question?
¿Alguna otra pregunta? Como ven, realmente todo esto está muy fácil de manejar. Lleva una lógica muy clara con los tags para que puedan realmente hacer, poner los nombres de los sitios donde están, todos los diferentes parámetros que ustedes quieran y las diferentes acciones que quieren que tomen con los diferentes tags. Entonces, a la hora que crean, el número de tags es ilimitado, como lo quieran hacer para que pasen las diferentes variantes de cómo quieren que toque cada una del contenido. Y el contenido lo pueden mandar a una sola pantalla, a un grupo de pantallas o a todas las pantallas. Entonces, eso les permite realmente manejar pues muy fácil la administración del contenido, ¿no? Otra de las cosas que pueden hacer es que pueden tener diferentes niveles de usuarios para donde ustedes, si quieren o van a tener a alguien que va a estar administrando el contenido, una vez que lo suba, puedes llegarle a ustedes un aviso para que ustedes, una vez que ya subieron el contenido, lo que sea, lo puedan revisar y si está bien, puedan dar el OK para que se muestre, ¿no? Entonces, pueden tener diferentes usuarios con diferentes niveles de acceso y con diferentes ahora sí que permisos para que hagan diferentes cosas. Entonces, esto funciona muy bien porque cuando tengan clientes que a lo mejor ya tienen un templete donde quieren nada más cambiar los precios y tienen a ciertas gentes que lo puedan hacer, pues es muy fácil el cómo darle el acceso para que cambien nada más cierto contenido o cierta parte del templete de la información que quieran, ya sea foto, precio, video, lo que les den ustedes acceso a que puedan cambiar, eso es lo que van a poder cambiar, ¿no?
Federico, I have one more thing to show, I think, which is very interesting. It's our mobile application, because there is a Zebrix mobile application also. So this is an example on the Play Store of Google. I hope I can show it. Okay, so this is the mobile version for Android, but we have the same one for iOS. So you can install it on your smartphones and also your Android smartphone or tablet. And you can easily see the screen status. You can change the content on the screen from your phone using the Set Content button, which works the exact same way that the one on the CMS, and the Use Schedule button there. You can also create pages from templates from your mobile phone. You can also preview all the media. You can upload new media from your phones, and you can directly do that from your computers, from your smartphones. So if you have a mobile phone, you can go to the Play Store and type Zebrix, and you will have a complete description in English of what you can do with the application from your mobile phone.
Sí, esta aplicación, como lo comenta Pierre, te da la habilidad de que localmente en la tienda puedas tú, si tú eres el administrador, pues puedas a través de tu teléfono en la aplicación, puedas administrar el contenido y todo lo que tú quieras. Si quisieras tomar una foto ahí en vivo de algún producto y de ahí poderla subir, también lo puedes hacer. Entonces, una de las ventajas que tiene la aplicación que tiene Zebrix para poder tanto administrar como cargar ciertos contenidos a través del teléfono.
Ok. Federico,
No sé, sí.
si tú quieres, puedo demostrar en 5 minutos también tipos de clientes para la visualización para los integradores, como hacemos con los clientes del mundo, para ver.
Sí, sí, por favor.
So, can you transfer the screen back to me? Thank you, Pierre. Gracias, Pierre.
Gracias, Pierre. Thank you, Pierre.
You're very welcome.
Ok. ¿Puedes ver mi pantalla? ¿Sí?
Yes, we see your screen.
Yeah, ok. Mira, como Pierre dijo, un iOS o un Android para cambiar precios, imágenes, menús en tiendas, ¿ok? Para cada tienda o para el administrador de 40 tiendas o 1000 tiendas, ¿ok? Y también es importante para los integradores que eso es un buen negocio para ustedes. El mounting, el soporte, los márgenes son muy buenos para empresas como ustedes. Es muy importante que el negocio de Digital Signage no solamente está de vender una pantalla, es también de vender todo el sistema de soporte para el cliente, ¿ok? Y también tenemos, ¿cómo se dice? El knowledge, ¿cómo se dice knowledge transfer, Federico, en español? El conocimiento para transferir que hacemos en Europa a ustedes, ¿ok? Por ejemplo, trabajamos con tiendas como eso, ¿sí? Y también hacemos todo para la tienda, no solamente la pantalla, pero también el mounting, el fixing y también el contenido también. Porque si usted no tiene una equipa de contenido para el cliente, nosotros tenemos un grupo en Francia que puede ayudar al cliente para crear contenido al cliente. Eso es muy importante. ¿Okay? También aquí está otras dimensiones de una pantalla, pero una pantalla como un negocio muy específico. Para eso eso es de una gran marca. Es como una marca como Leroy Merlin, como Decathlon, como Bodega. Tenemos muchas de esas marcas en Europa y también mira, eso es el concepto para el cliente, el mounting, el bracket, es negocio para el integrador. ¿Okay? Marcas de licor, es muy importante también, porque la pantalla ahora es la vitrina del cliente. La pantalla es muy importante para trabajar en licor, en beverage, en comidas, en tiendas pequeñas, pero tiendas que necesitan imágenes que funcionan en real time para las personas que están pasando en el centro de negocios. Decathlon, por ejemplo, tenemos tenemos todas las tiendas en Decathlon ahora en México y esta implementación tienes 80 pantallas con 3 large LED video wall, pero la mayoría de las pantallas en Decathlon son de Samsung, ¿ok? Si tienes cliente a ver Zebrix, va a tiendas de Decathlon en CDMX, en Mexico City, todo tiene de Zebrix. También cosas de comida, como dice, me voy a demostrar rápidamente. Ese concepto es interesante porque es la customización para el cliente utilizan la aplicación de Zebrix para informar directamente al negocio del cliente. Grupos para tiendas de comida, tenemos muchas cosas en cinema también. Y como dice Pierre, la integración del conector con la aplicación del cliente para hablar con el soft o la aplicación del cliente a utilizar Zebrix en real time. Leroy Merlin, tenemos otras tiendas también, aquí las tiendas. un poquito más de ejemplos de tiendas, de fashion, retail, comercio. Así es un video wall utilizando Zebrix, ¿ok? Aeropuertos. Ok, gracias. ¿Preguntas?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Ok, estamos listos, ¿no?
Pues muchas gracias, les agradecemos su asistencia al webinar, esperamos que les haya servido. Pónganse en contacto con nosotros, tenemos equipo aquí instalado en las oficinas si quieren ver una demostración o si necesitan ver algo más o pueden generar si tienen alguna oportunidad ahorita con un cliente o alguna duda, con mucho gusto les podemos ayudar con el desarrollo para ver cuál es la solución o qué es lo que necesitan para poder pasarles una demostración aquí en nuestro showroom. Y bueno, la intención era que conocieran un poco más de las diferentes plataformas y de las soluciones que tenemos para señalización digital. Y para los que están empezando, pues es muy importante que conozcan las diferencias y la forma de hacerlo y que sea una forma correcta y que sea una forma profesional y que realmente puedan tener ustedes el control de lo que necesiten y que el cliente al final sea un cliente contento, ¿no? Porque hay muchas instalaciones y hay muchas cosas que se están haciendo muy mal porque no usan equipo profesional ni nada. Entonces, acérquense a nosotros, con mucho gusto les ayudamos y también les vamos a hacer llegar una invitación para los eventos que tenemos con la Digital Signage Association, que es la que es DSM Latam, con los diferentes eventos que vamos a tener de aquí a fin de año. Les agradecemos su presencia y bueno, estaremos en comunicación con ustedes. Muchas gracias.
Federico,
¿Sí? ¿Sí?
Can you tell them I will offer them, if they close the deal by the end of the year, okay, a 25% discount on Zebrix, okay?
Sí. Lo que está ofreciendo de Zebrix directamente, si de aquí a fin de año tienen algún proyecto que puedan cerrar, está ofreciendo Raynald un 25% de descuento adicional a los precios que tenemos. Entonces, aprovechen. Él va a estar con nosotros acá la próxima semana. Si alguien tiene interés o necesita platicar más de cerca con nosotros para cualquier cosa, pueden aprovechar que él va a estar acá en México la próxima semana. Y bueno, pues estaremos en comunicación. Cualquier cosa, esperamos oír de ustedes pronto. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Raynald. Thank you, Pierre.
Gracias.
Gracias.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank you.